Okay. Hold on, I am so fucking unprepared. Here we go. Okay. Welcome everyone to the 5th episode of the OmniCast. I'm your warm host Flame again. We're back in the saddle here. Please get comfy, make yourself at home, grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of joe, whatever you want. I'm joined by my co-host here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Is that me?
Yeah,
Kondus 12?
that's you, boy.
Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Kondus 12, Conmark Productions. Welcome.
There you go. And we also have a special guest here today. It's some pleb named YOLO Marco.
Yeah, with a name like that, you would think that.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us an insight of what you do in the community and what you do in general.
Yeah, so obviously my name is YOLO Marco, or more commonly I'm referred to as MarcoYolo. I'm a content creator, I guess mainly focusing or specifying in For Honor. I do everything from meme videos or meme montages to, I guess I did a little bit of a stint where I did some tutorials, but let's face it, I'm not good at the game. It was more just for dummies. But I guess those are the two things that I'm known for in the community. Yeah, I play lots of other games as well, but obviously the main content of my channel is For Honor.
Oof.
Awesome.
Okay. Do you ever get sick of making content for Honor? Here we go.
I wouldn't say that I get sick of it. For Honor is, and I'm not just saying this because it's obviously a game that's a lot on my channel, it is probably one of my more favorite games of all time. I've always enjoyed the medieval kind of setting, and just the combat system is a little bit more unique compared to what else is out there. I know that like there's your Mountain Blades and your Mordhaus, but those aren't, I guess, as big of games, or made by as big of studios as like Ubisoft was, right? So for that reason alone, it's always going to have a soft spot in my heart. I don't enjoy playing the game 100% of the time, all the time. I pretty much only play it when I'm recording now. Because I feel like with everything, you know, it's better in small doses. It's always good to take breaks.
Right.
But I guess to summarize it, yeah, I enjoy making content, but I like to kind of, you know, try other games as well. It's not the only game I play.
What kind of games have you been getting into lately?
Getting my ass handed to me in Sekiro.
Hey, same boy.
I've tried out Apex Legends, and I want to make a video on it. I probably will. It's just harder for me to get footage because I haven't touched a first-person shooter maybe since like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, wow.
And the biggest thing is now I'm on computer, right? So growing up, I had always played with a controller. And sure, yeah, you can play with a controller on a computer. It's a huge disadvantage, and the clips might not look that good. So it's been hard to kind of learn the keyboard mouse and kind of transition to that.
What about you?
Other than that, it's just, you know, whatever other games that my friends have got me playing. Like right now, Risk of Rain 2 I've been playing. I don't know if I'm going to make a video on that. It's hard with the content that I make to make a video on that. There's a game called Outward that I've been playing with another content creator, Flukerson. It's almost like if Dark Souls was a more open world RPG without the same art style, but the same kind of combat and the same, you know, you take 3 hits and you're dead.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Kondus?
Oh, I like to play everything. For Honor is definitely my main game, but I've been getting to Apex a lot, which is I don't know, it's pretty addicting, even though I suck. Yeah, just get wrecked in the in a hot drop or something. But
Who do you guys?
I love
name?
it. Bangalore.
Octane.
On Apex. Yeah.
Wraith.
Ooh.
Oh, you're one of those. Oh.
Yeah, one of those
Jokes,
guys,
only
yeah.
jokes, only
Basics.
Hey. I put my controller thing on what I call my layout to Ninja. So like I accidentally press X, which is my jump button, because I panic jump a lot because of Call of Duty. It's made me that way. But instead, I'm using my ult. So when people shoot me, the first shot that comes my way, I just disappear.
Oh, no way.
So it actually works in my favor a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's awesome.
But yeah, not with like someone like Lifeline or, you know, like Bangalore. I'll just shoot my smoke into the sky. I'll do like
It's
a signal
flare that goes off.
Yeah. We're here, boys. I think the one thing that really turned me off of Apex, because it took a little bit of people convincing me to play it, was like how just cringy Fortnite was. And I didn't really like battle royales because I felt like it was just an oversaturated thing. But Apex kind of proved me wrong. Its ping system, its combat, its fluidity is just something spectacular. It is game innovating.
Right.
Yeah. Because I got hooked into, you know, I played PUBG and all my friends played it, but I never could get into it. I hated it. But once Blackout came out for Black Ops 4, I fell in love with it and I thought that system was great. And then all of a sudden Apex came out and they just perfected everything. I mean, it was beautiful.
Really?
So I have a question for you, Marco.
All right.
Okay, Marco Polo, I have a question for what's For Honor's weak points? What do you think is its critical weak points at the moment?
I mean, the one thing, and I'm sure most of the community will agree with me on that, I think it might be the lack of balance changes.
Mm-hmm.
There's little tweaks I think that could be made that should be rolled out maybe a little bit quicker, whether it's just changing the times of certain movements, or even, and I'm not even sure if this has been fixed yet, but wasn't there an issue a while ago with Jiang Jun? Before he was released into the game, the other Marching Fire heroes, they had I don't remember if it was public or private, but there was a test where you could actually play the Marching Fire heroes, play the breach mode, sorry. And a lot of people felt that Jiang Jun was rather weak because he was too slow. So what Ubisoft did was either adjusted the speed, I don't know if they sped his attacks up or slowed them down or whatever what might have happened, but the timing when the animation hit you and the attack actually hit you were completely different.
Right.
And to my knowledge, that issue went on for at least a couple weeks. So there's things like that I believe should be rolled out a little bit quicker. Those kind of like smaller patches, not large overhauls like the reworks that we're supposed to be getting with Raider and Lawbringer coming up, but just smaller little tweaks like that. I think that's one thing that would really change the game, because if you look at any other major fighting game, and I know For Honor is not a traditional fighting game in that sense, but if you look at other bigger games, you know, they're a little bit quicker and kind of, okay, we'll get on that right away.
I see.
Yes.
What about you, Kondus?
Yeah, I agree. You know, the thing is that my biggest problem is that they keep coming out with these overpowered heroes. Like each new hero is just becoming more powerful, faster in every way.
Yeah,
and
it's power creep.
Yeah, and they're not really touching the older heroes as much. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, Warden. I'm a Warden main, and so they touched Warden, but okay, so they gave him Valiant Breakthrough, which anybody can read that now and expects it, and then they gave him a overhead top heavy, unblockable top heavy that you can just light him out of it. You know, and so it's like, okay, well now Warden has nothing pretty much besides still the shoulder bash spam. And
actually, I'm going to disagree a little bit because I'm about to be rep 70 with him. I've literally played like my whole life with Warden, and it's gotten to a meme where every time, like, I know dude.
How are your shoulders?
I mean, my shoulders kind of hurt. I mean, I kind of had to take off my arms, but now I kind of just run at people with my legs and just throw my body at them. But it still works. It gets the job done. But all jokes aside, I disagree. The mind game potential with Warden is really interesting. He still does technically have the best 50-50 in the game.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just compared to a lot of the newer characters, you know, their lights are so much faster. Their mobility. Yeah. It's like the Warden's recovery time, I feel like, is so slow compared to the rest of the newer heroes, for instance. And it's like I feel like I am struggling and I'm sweating to verse a new hero where I feel like they're just chilling. You know, it's like I'm putting in so much effort.
Now, boys, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it feel like you have to buy the meta sometimes? And I know that, okay, I know it's going to sound strange, but hear me out. Every DLC character that has come out, they've been overpowered to shit, except for a few, overpowered to shit, and that forces you to either buy the meta and, you know, like let's use Centurion and Shinobi when they first came out with Centurion's Infinite. Like, you literally had to be the cancer to, like, negate the cancer, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You have to buy into the meta, and I hate that every character that's released, it feels like this. Like, for instance, Black Prior, and Black Prior is a good character, but there is some things that are a little bit janky with him that I've seen some play styles that are very uncanny, and I'm pretty sure it's worse than Conquer out of stamina shield bash spam. it's just certain things like that like I don't want to feel like I have to waste what call it when like all this skill just to buy into the meta so I can enjoy the game, you know? Like
Yep.
I don't want to play outdated characters and just get wrecked on constantly or whatever. I want to play who like I want to play to have fun, but like let's say I want to play Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper's good, but all she has is her lights. She doesn't have an unblockable.
Mhm.
Her mind game potential is very limited, and her moveset is extremely linear. And I'm
Well, it's
rep
predictable
49
too,
with her.
yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks going into 1v1s, whatever, and just getting destroyed with her because of all these characters such as Black Prior, Conqueror, like all these characters that could just immediately shut her down. And it's sad that characters have to be this way now to buy into a meta.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's like when they
Yeah.
come out with the new hero, it's like they're completely overpowered for about a month. It's like they advertise that. It's like, oh, this hero right here, play him, because they're so strong, they're so fast, and then
And
like
so,
you said,
you know, a
you got
content
leadership.
creator like speaks up or something, that's when it gets fixed. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that though.
I would even say it's when a content creator speaks up. You could see speaking up even
Oh, yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
before they're going to be released, right? And I think it's a mix of a couple things. It's for sure on one hand, the old cast needs to be brought up again a lot quicker to be able to compete with the newer characters, right? There's nothing wrong with bringing in new mechanics, but when there's some older heroes that, like Peacekeeper, for example, that still yet have an unblockable, you know, playing Peacekeeper is basically playing Orochi with slower attacks.
Yeah.
There's no real reason to play it unless you really like her aesthetically. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, I think, partly keeping the original heroes up. But I think it's also they want to try to innovate and bring in new mechanics and change the game a little bit as well. Going back to when Centurion was released, you know, I get the fingers pointed at me a lot because I released 2 videos when he came out that may have not defended him, but I may have just been playing him and kind of just, you know, shitting on everybody, and everyone kind of hated me for that. And I'll accept all criticism and all hate for it, because at the time, I didn't have a problem with Centurion because I didn't get hit by that infinite wall stun combo.
Right.
That's the only reason, but of course I see why people would hate him. But the main thing that a lot of people hated was, oh my god, I can't dodge the jab. The aggressive playstyle that Centurion kind of brought in, nobody thought or knew really to dodge, because not really everyone used follow-up bashes. Like, there was Conqueror Shield Bash, and I think that was it, for like a follow-up attack. So it kind of, I think that might have been part of a thing as well, it's just a change in the meta.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I agree with that. That's a really good statement. I can't really fault you for feeling that way, and it's kind of like buys into the whole don't like having to buy the meta again. It's like you're forced to conform in order to have fun in a game. Like, don't get me wrong. Me and For Honor have kind of had an abusive relationship since day one.
I think we can all
We
agree
all
with
have.
you on that, yeah.
So someday like Karen took the kids, so I'm kind of just here, and yeah, and it's pretty bad, dude. That like I have to literally force myself to love this game, and I really did. Like I gave it like my best shot. Like with this game, there's so much potential. It's a masterpiece when it comes to the combat. Like it's something very different and very like it's a bold taste. It's a bold way of going about a combat game. But the only thing is just like how man, just how like one-sided it is. Like it's how do I put this like nicely? It's just like
if you don't
these
pick a meta
developers-
character, you're getting destroyed.
not only that, it's just these developers like, and I'm not trying to call shade or whatever, I'm just seeing it as is for face value. They promise us so much, but they just slap us, they just dick slap us across the face and just like basically borderline abuse us if you want to be honest with it, like with these new characters having to buy certain things, having to play certain ways, kiting, glitching, one-shot glitch, one-shot glitches, ledging, like no honor rules, honor rules, like all these controversial like play styles and topics or whatever. just turning the community literally against itself, flipping it upside down into a negative world that we don't even know which way is up or down, if we should play For Honor or no honor. And I'm not saying that it's what I call it, the community that's wrong. I'm saying it's the people who made the game the way it is that made the way, you know, because if you come into it, this actually brings up what Archwizard CJ brought up on our previous podcast. If you put yourself in a negative environment, of course you're going to be negative because you're surrounded with negativity. So that's also going to rub off on you. And when I come to For Honor, I literally feel myself like stressing the first like 2 games I get into. Like, it shouldn't be like that. A game should be played to have fun, not like having to deal with stress and all this shit.
Yeah. Well, one thing I realized... Oh, go ahead, Marco.
No, you go ahead. After you. I'll go after you.
Well, I was just going to state, you know, it's like the more, you know, back then, you know, 10, 15 years ago, or even when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, you know, it was pretty simple, you know. It was just very limited. There's not as many triggers in a game, and now you got really advanced games like For Honor, you know. That fighting system's amazing. But now you have all these things you have to look over. It's like, okay, I'm pretty certain the developers didn't expect players to just spam. You know, they may have like, oh crap, now we have this, but you know, it's like this has to be part of the mechanic, but there's a good chance of spamming. It's like, how can you go around that? You know, I feel like I like to play honorably, but you know, if people want to, for instance, like true brawls, right? It's like people want to just completely 2v2s or 2 duels going on at the same time. I'm down for both. It's just the communication. And I feel like the community can really ruin it for your experience. Because it's like, I like using all of Warden's tool sets, all of his move sets, where, you know, you got Shaman or that just constantly spams, you know, and it's just, I feel like someone can really easily ruin it for you.
And going on that topic, I'm going to let Marco go first, but I want to come in and swoop in and actually extend what you were going to say a little bit.
A part of me was actually going to extend that as well. Like, it's definitely, I don't think Ubisoft, not necessarily intended, but they didn't expect the community to play certain ways. Like, one thing I think they didn't expect was everybody picking up parrying pretty quickly. Like, if you go back and watch my Great Crusade video, for example, which was released, like, near the end of Season 1, I'm throwing out, like, top heavies, I'm throwing out all these random attacks, nobody's blocking them, nobody's parrying them, or if they are parrying them, they're missing the timing, and these were basic attacks, right? This is in, like, the infancy of For Honor, and even aside from that, the game was very slow, right? At first, it was very slow. Eventually, I think, like you kind of alluded to, you know, spam became a more of a meta play style because it worked, right? The faster attacks caught people off guard more often, and it worked. So I think part of it might, I guess, arguably be a bit of an oversight on the developers, but I mean, they couldn't also potentially expect kiting to happen, right? Like, this is not like a traditional fighting game where it's like, okay, you're either in a 2D or a 3D environment, whether it's, you know, Soul Calibur or Tekken, for example, and you're locked onto the fight the entire time, right? You have the ability to unlock, run around, and like you mentioned earlier, you can kite opponents, you can bait them into kind of things like that. But it's even more than that, you know. It's like you said earlier, actually, being more in a stressful environment. You know, it's like you said, not like Call of Duty, where it's a bit more of, I guess, a thoughtless game. I think of that when I think of Apex. I'm not really thinking. I'm just playing. I'm there to just kind of have fun. If I die, I die. But that's how I treat all shooters. Maybe there's people that treat them differently, but that's how I treat them. I don't really use my brain. I just kind of turn off and let the colors fly. Game. Exactly.
And that's a good thing, in my opinion. It reduces stress.
Whereas For Honor, it's a completely different beast. You know, if I'm in a 4v4 mode, I've got to think, okay, you know, we're at this amount of points, we need to get to this, the opponents are here, I need to make sure I'm not positioning myself near a ledge because, look, they have a Warlord or they have a Lawbringer, I need to be ready for the Shigoki to come in for the hug, or, oh, look, there's a Shinobi, I could be guard broken at any moment. I think that definitely adds to the stress because there's so much more that you kind of have to prepare yourself for, and there's a lot more on your mind, and that just initially, like, my hairs are already being raised on the back of my neck. I'm already feeling the PTSD. You know, there's just a lot more to think about, and I think that immediately kind of puts you into that more negative, and maybe negative is not the right word, but it puts you more into a competitive mindset. And when you're not doing so well, when you're trying to do well, it's going to have a negative effect on you and then kind of put you in that negative zone.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, I have a real big question about the negative and the positive sides of, I guess, the psychological points of the For Honor community broke in half like a cookie. But before we go into that, I actually wanted to ask, like, I was so warped into what you were saying, like I was just like zoning in. But I was gonna ask, like, what do you think about like egos, like egotism and the thoughts of yeah. Okay, so like I know that that's a really big subject, and it may seem very one-sided, and you know, like, yo, you just shouldn't have an ego. You should just get good. You fucking suck it up.
But I even think that, even saying that, I think, you know, in that sense, you could say that's an ego, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, anything you could do could be taken as, like, a split side. Okay, so 100%. An ego to me, yeah, exactly. I don't know, that's what's called sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm just saying, like, egos or whatever in the most purest form are just a coin. You can either be labeled as that, heads or tails. You could either be labeled as, oh, he took the good route. He's a good guy, or he took the bad route. This guy's a fucking douchebag. But like, it's never a gray line. There's no silver lining. It's always you're either a shithead or you're actually a really good guy. It's no, and that's why I really don't like when it comes to the community for Honor, because I've seen so many videos like calling out certain people in the community because they did one thing wrong. We're human. We fuck up. We're not perfect. We're not these perfect entities. Like, and YouTubers behind the scenes, whatever, I'm pretty sure like half the people who make For Honor like content on the daily and they stream this shit, they literally get off and they're sweating bullets. They're just like, like about to have like a breakdown. Because I literally give shout out to any like For Honor YouTuber that does content daily and streams it, because that is honestly low key like the most torturous thing. That's literally going into a torture room and just telling the torture, like, fuck me up, fam.
Yeah.
Like,
my wife asked me, she's like, why do you play a game that makes you so mad?
It makes you suffer so much. Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm a masochist, okay?
I like it. I like the pain. I like that Orochi like spamming me. Give me it. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's let's try to go into that other subject, though, when it comes to the positives and negatives. Okay, just knowing for this podcast, everyone that's listening right now, this is just our opinion solely. Of course, we're going to be biased. We're human. We believe in what we believe in. But just know that we're good people down to the core. But we do have opinions. Now, I'm going to ask you a real simple question. Do you think For Honor, would you recommend it to a friend?
I would.
I have. Multiple times. I mean, I probably got half of my friends on to.
Okay, now let's flip that question. Would you recommend For Honor to a person that is suffering with depression?
Go ahead, Marco.
I feel like, oh god, I feel like that's a bit more of a gray line, because it's, you know, one thing might be, you know, do I know this person first of all? Obviously, I'd hope so. It's not like I'm just gonna walk.
Of course, they're your friend. Of course, they're your friend.
I would want to know a little bit more about them, in the sense that, you know, are they into these kind of games? Like, for example, do they like the Dark Souls series? Because the Dark Souls series is a bit more of a, you know, a punishing series, right? Same with Sekiro, same with Bloodborne. If they're into more of a challenge, I would say yes. If they're not really into games that give them that kind of challenge, they just want more sit-down, light experiences. They don't want to have to think too much. They just want to kind of turn their mind off, get out of the world, right? Just kind of zone in on the game. Then I might not. You know, it really kind of depends on the person, but generally, I might lean towards no.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's understandable. What about you?
Yeah, you know, it's really you got to feel them out, because, you know, now if you're talking about just a depressed person being lonely, I don't know, I feel like this game can bring a lot of people together. But if you're talking about someone that's suicidal, this game, a lot of people
I
have broken
might-
TVs and controllers.
Yeah,
over
might
it,
just
so-
let
Not to
you
mention
know,
that,
yeah.
what some people say online as well, it's...
Exactly.
And yeah, I just thought too, it's like any other fighting game though. To get good, it does take a lot of time and dedication. So if that's something that they're willing to set aside, then that might also change my opinion. But generally, like
Right.
it's not always going to be a sit down, feel good experience, and that's okay. That's completely okay sometimes with games. It's just this game is not always one of them.
Right.
All right, boys, let's get out of For Honor because we just did the first 30
Yeah.
minutes of For Honor. Let's just take a chill pill, rest. No more stressing. No more talking about this For Honor game. Well, let's get to know each other. Let's not intimately, but let's get to know each other.
Oh,
Friendly.
that's not as fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
That was not allowed. That wasn't the final terms of getting on this podcast. Well, I'm out of here. Just leaves the call. So, for starters, how was your guys' day? What'd you do today?
Right, Moko, go first.
I woke up at 10 o'clock. My fiance is like, okay, time to get up. And I'm like, no, I'm going back to bed. So I slept again until 12. She was pissed at me because she also just went back to bed. And she's like, well, now I'm tired and I feel like shit. Thanks a lot. So I was like, okay, fine. Let's go get breakfast. So we went to Denny's, had some breakfast, and then we had to go grocery shopping. Then we went and picked up one of her friends. They watched a movie that they were super hyped for. They couldn't stop talking about it. I don't even remember what it was. It was on Netflix. Some new release. And
Is it a TV series?
no, it was actually a movie. I forget the name of it, but it's
Perfect date.
something like that. Yeah, it was about a guy that like gets paid to go on dates
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
actually watched that
Perfect
last
Date.
night. It was good.
They were so they hated it.
What?
They were like, that movie was the worst movie ever. Like they were like 30 minutes in, like, is it gonna get good?
Oh man.
The whole time I'm eating, I just bought a box of French Toast Crunch. I'm eating that, doing my For Honor
God.
grinding.
Awesome.
Dude, the dream.
That was my day today. Now I'm here.
That's awesome.
What about you, Kondus?
Got up. My wife had to work today, so got my daughter situated. Then my sister ended up picking up my daughter, taking her around town, which was nice because I was able to stream. And then started editing some videos. So got a new series going on my channel. What is it? True Brawls with friends and subscribers. So I have subscribers join me, and yeah, we just do True Brawls, just have fun. And it's been a hit, I started off with duels, and then there's so many people wanting in, so I'm like, okay, we're all doing this in a brawl. Like, this is going to be a lot faster. And then yeah, reached my max views in one stream, which was 23 at one time. 23 people
Nice.
at one time was the great achievement there. And now the family's back home, just trying to be quiet because I'm doing this last minute.
Oof.
You guys better shut your mouths.
Let's get a age check around the room.
I'm 29.
24.
25.
Wow, I'm the youngest. This
What?
is weird.
I'm the oldest. This is weird. I'm usually the youngest.
Hey, boys. 20 plus gang. Let's gamers rise up.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's when you know I'm getting old. Crap.
Dude, you don't like. I had my first old moment today, and I know you guys are going to tell me, "Oh, shut the fuck up!" But literally, I went into the mirror and I washed my face, getting ready for work, and I pulled out my first gray hair, and I was like, I just had like a moment in the bathroom. I was like, no.
That's from For Honor, just to let you know.
yeah, it might be.
That
But you know
one
what?
strand.
That's not that bad because my brother is 2 years younger than me, so he's actually 21 right now. Because I actually just turned 24 the other day, so he's actually technically 3 years right now younger. But he's had gray hair in his head for like the last 4 years.
Oh,
I don't think
man.
it's stress. I don't know what it is. He just got it a hell of a lot earlier than anyone that I've known. He doesn't have a lot. He's just got like little baby strands. He's lucky that he has like blonde hair, so it's kind of hard to see. It's lighter.
Oh, gotcha.
But don't worry. It happens to different people at different times. Remember American Idol? Remember Taylor Hicks?
Yeah.
Dude was
Oh,
like
yeah.
29. Looked like he was 52 with that head of hair.
Oh my god, dude, that dude literally looked like he was on his like deathbed.
Very
It was
true.
good.
Very true.
I mean, I don't feel as old. I think the moments I feel old is when I go into Walmart and I see some little kid doing a Fortnite dance, and I'm like, "Fuck
Oh,
Oh my
man.
god, stop. I'm having flashbacks. No.
Oh, dude, I can see him now. Like everyone here that's listening, just close your eyes and just think about in the cereal aisle, just some kid doing the floss as hard as he can.
Oh goodness gracious.
Sweating.
Now that you have that in your mind, just think of two kids coming up and just doing Orange Justice, and they're in like a little circle. They're doing a Fortnite dance circle. I've seen it happen. Oh my god, it makes you want to die on the spot.
Why don't you just walk up to them, put the L on the forehead, and start doing, I don't know what the heck the name of the dance is, but you know
I
that
would be
one where they
labeled
kick
as
the
a
legs
pedophile
out?
if I did that, dude.
But it's Fortnite, we're bonding, we all know the same game, it's okay.
I'd be either labeled as a creep or a pedophile, one of the two, because you don't see a 25-year-old going up doing Fortnite dances with little kids. I'm just saying.
We should change. Stop.
Isn't that Ninja?
But yeah,
like
like
do that at New Year's.
Yeah.
oh, dude, there was this one video is like, I be flossing.
No, stop.
Oh man,
it's all melancholy, and he's like doing the floss.
And
yeah, and if you look closely, like right when he's doing it, the people in the front row, they're just staring at them, like at Ninja with these empty eyes of just like melancholy. It's like the greatest thing ever.
God damn.
It was so bad that they had to cut away from the actual video.
oh my goodness.
What a way to start off the year, boys. 2019 hype.
Yep.
God, no wonder it's been an interesting year.
Speaking of Ninja, hasn't he kind of just like trailed off now?
I haven't ever followed him, to be brutally honest, so I wouldn't really know. I don't really concern myself with, I guess, other games. I know that sounds really shitty, but like I don't give a crap what's going on in the Fortnite community because I don't play the game, right?
Same.
I only knew it because of my like recommendations. I'd keep seeing him in like my feed or whatever, like someone talking about him or someone saying like, oh, how he's the best or whatever. Now it's Dizzy in Apex.
Yeah.
He's, like right now.
It's always because of the age and their skill. That's why.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Always.
it's like Ninja. He was young when he got first, started off, and just like you said, I was getting those videos in my feed, and just because I was hearing, a lot of his fan base were falling off is just because he was reporting everybody who killed him, because it reported him for stream sniping.
Yeah, it was something like that. All right, boys, let's get a little bit personal here.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so tell me your most awkward bathroom situation in your life.
Is it bad
Every
that I expected
podcast.
this one? I expected this one because I watched the last one of the Gingy right before this.
It's a ritual, dude. We always
God
talk
damn.
about at least one awkward bathroom experience.
Am
You
I
knew
going
it was
first then?
coming. Yeah, you knew. Yeah, boy,
God.
you knew.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different. So I recently, I don't live in the same city as I grew up in. I actually moved about 4 to 5 hours out, just because the city's bigger. It has more opportunity for growth and whatnot. So my mom came up one day to visit, and my fiance doesn't work in the mall, but there's a taller building attached to it, right downtown. So we figured, okay, we'll take the subway downtown. We'll just hang out at the mall. There is an aquarium, and there is like we're in Canada, so there's the CN Tower there, tallest tower in the world, kind of like our Empire State Building. We do some sightseeing. So whatever, we have breakfast. This is the start of the morning. We have breakfast. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hit the bathroom. Walk to the closest bathroom. Now this is there's only 2 stalls, a handicapped and a regular one. One guy just happens to go into the regular one before me. I'm like, god damn it, I'll wait. Handicapped one was already, locked, occupied, whatever. I'm waiting for about 2 to 3 minutes. Like, okay. Then I start to hear some snoring.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
guy-
Oh God.
Go to bed. I waited another 2 to 3 minutes. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, okay, fine. I'll just find another washroom. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to wait here forever. So I walk down about another 2 minutes, and I finally find a bathroom. Huge bathroom, thank God. Let's say at least 10 stalls. About 8 of them were taken. I'm like, fucking, of course,
geez.
whatever.
Damn,
I
dude.
open up one of the stalls. I'm not. This is not for the faint of heart. So if you're squeamish, like, just plug your ears or something. Don't listen for 30 seconds. It looked like a fucking murder happened in this bathroom. Like, it was just red. It was nasty. I didn't want to look closely, but it looked like there might have been like a body part or something in there. Thank
Wait,
God
hold
there was
up,
another.
hold up. Was it just blood or was it just shit everywhere?
It was blood. It was red.
Oh my.
What the fuck?
It
Oh,
could have
dude.
been bloody shit. It could. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm
Someone
just
gave
lucky
birth.
that there was another stall because I went and it was open. Thank God. The lock didn't work, but whatever. It didn't matter because I
What
gave
the
back
hell?
my breakfast.
Oh
Dude,
my gosh.
Dude, here's the ultimate though. Like when you close that door to that one stall, some other guy just like opened it and he was like, and then just went in there and closed it.
I hope not because I heard some guy go ew after opening it.
Could you imagine like if some guy just went into that stall that you didn't go into and he just started moaning randomly? He's like, oh, like
Oh jeez.
I'd lose my shit, dude.
That
I think,
is my worst bathroom experience. Not the traditional bathroom experience for sure, but oh man, that is by far the,
Let's
maybe
just
the
pretend
worst
that-
experience. Period.
Yeah.
That's a
Let's
good
just pretend you didn't crushing Counter-Strike that guy in that stall, dude, and you just left blood everywhere.
one.
Dude, I wanted to just, I don't know what the proper name is for the kick, but I just wanted to use Highlander's kick and knock down the door, be like, wake up, I need to shit, man.
Oh, that's
great.
awesome.
Instead of the kick, you go for the caber toss grab, and then you put the seat down.
Oh, good.
Bathe and glass in the air, or whatever the hell he says. I don't know, it's Scottish,
Oh, that's
bad. My Gaelic or whatever it is.
All right, so I think mine's recent. Mine's a really mini one too. You know that one what do you call it song? It's like I got the horses in the back.
Oh
Like-
gosh. Stop.
Like
No.
I sat down at work and I got my stall and I was comfy, boy, and I just hear and just like this little phone and the speakers are so high they're about to give out. Just hearing I got the horses in the back, like reverberating the whole freaking bathroom, dude. And I'm like I'm over there like shit, like what do you call it, nodding my head like yeah, hell yeah, turn it up. No, but no, that was awful, dude. I got out of there. It was something always
man.
awkward happens to me. What about you, Kondus? Give us your most awkward bathroom story that you've had so far in life.
Well, here, I'll give you two. All right, so I'm in the maintenance. Okay, first, let's go back. My very first job, I worked at an Arby's.
Here we go.
This was about my second week in, and someone forgot to fill the women's monthly toiletry trash can with the trash bag.
Oh.
Fuck.
Me being the new guy, they're like, hey, you need to clean the bathrooms. And so I reported it, I'm like, hey, this is filled up and there's no trash bag in there. And we're seriously, no joke, guys, I'm not lying to you, we just ran out of latex gloves.
Oh no.
There's no fucking way they
no,
Oh,
expected
yeah.
you to do that.
Barehanded, got everyone
Oh.
out. Had to freaking pick it off the side of the trash can and everything,
Oh
dude.
my
It was
fucking
was
god, dude.
disgusting.
I
Yeah.
literally
Yep.
like
Yep.
Oh,
What,
God.
$6.70 an hour? $6.70 an hour for that.
oh, you only got $6? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
it's times like that I'm really glad to be Canadian because our minimum wage in my province just got raised to like $14 an hour. But at the
Oh,
same
that's
time,
awesome.
keep in mind like our Canadian dollar to the American dollar is like maybe like $1.25 on a good day. It's usually like
Yes.
$1.30, $1.40. We're really weak right now.
Yo, big shout out to anyone who works fast food because
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus, man, that is like literally the most degrading job out there. Like I
Oh, yeah.
I worked at what do you call it, Sonic, dude, when I was 18.
man.
And
Oh, man.
holy fuck, dude. It was oh my god. Oh dude.
I can
dude,
imagine something.
But in doing fast food, you get an empathy for the job. You like
Yeah.
every time I'm not saying this just for like shits and giggles and like to boost like myself like I'm a good person. You can label me as a bad person. Literally right now, just to do yourself the favor so you don't get heartbroken at the end, label me as a bad person right now. So I always go through drive-thrus and I always like tell the guy, like the people who go through drive-thrus, like I'm like, hey, keep your chin up, and I give them like $5 and I always $5 and I always leave. I always do that because I know
Oh, wow.
how fucking shitty, dude. Like that stuff is like me and my girlfriend's like, why are you being so nice to them? And I'm like, you don't
You
understand.
know what I know.
It's a crappy job.
You haven't been where I've been. So yeah, like and when I got tips, dude, through drive-thru and everything, like I literally felt so good about that day. I was like, man,
Oh,
people
seriously.
like yeah, it boosts your self-confidence or whatever. But yeah, man, like when I was 18, I was just a shy little boy, like working drive-thru with that little tiny headset, like, welcome to Sonic. But yeah, man, it is it gives you empathy, dude. It's
Oh,
I would
definitely.
recommend anyone like starting with like a fast food job builds character too.
It really does.
Now, I am gladly out of there, working at a knife shop, just sitting around watching YouTube, cleaning knives for a living. So
Oh man, that's the life.
Definitely a lot better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You
But
didn't leave a
Kondus,
box
you
of
said you
knives
had.
outside, did you?
I mean,
Just making
Kondus,
sure. You don't
let's
wanna-
get on with it. Let's get on with your story, Kondus.
What's
Part
that?
two.
Or
Part
my
2 of
second-
your story.
Oh, okay, so I'm in the maintenance field, and I get called in the middle of the night for their bathtubs backing up. And it's a main floor house. It's a ranch style house. I'm like, okay, so and this is like about right almost at midnight. And so get there, and I have to use the giant drum snake to snake the sewage line to get the clog out. So I didn't even, for some reason, I didn't even think of it. But both bathtubs in the house are about half full. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and just pull the toilet. And I pulled the toilet, and all the water, all that sewage water in the bathtubs just started draining down, coming out where the toilet was, flooding the entire main level of this house. Like, there was just
What did
poop,
you do?
toilet paper just flooding out, running underneath the resident's couch and their bed. There was just poop floating everywhere. There's about 3 inches of water in their house, and they're looking at me like, "Are you retarded? Like, like what are you doing?"
God,
And
That's
I didn't even
shit.
think about it. Yeah, so I'm just sitting there holding this toilet, watching all these pieces of poop just flooding out of
Floating on by.
floating on by. I'm like, wow, okay. I don't
I
know
think
what I'm doing apparently.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, that must have
really
been
shitty.
hell, dude. Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is really shitty.
I was there until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, shop vacuuming and sanitizing their house.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, let's move on to a less
Less
disgusting
shitty
topic.
yeah.
Yeah, a less shitty
Please.
topic.
No pun
So-
intended.
So, boys, be honest with me, as another fellow abuser or abusee. Sorry, I did not say that. Abusee, what do you call it, of the For Honor community, and just that in general. But tell me what you think, just in a short 1-sentence thing. Do you like For Honor? Deep down to your core, that you're not shitting. You're not. I can't stop saying shit. That you're being 100% honest. Tell me your 100% honest opinion about For Honor in 1 sentence.
I mean, I'm just gonna pretty much rephrase what I said earlier, but yeah, I enjoy the game. Like I said, I don't know if it's the medieval setting, because I grew up on Age of Empires 2. This is a long sentence, I'm sorry, but the medieval setting is great. The combat feels great. It might not always work like it's supposed to, but at the end of the day, I enjoy my experience with the game.
Kondus?
Man, I loved it, but I'm starting to hate it.
Fair. Okay, my turn. I just wish Karen would give back the kids. My email is but yeah, like that's literally my thing. I just wish Karen would give back the kids, because honestly at this point, like
Damn it, Karen, come on.
I just want to see him once on the weekends at least.
Yes.
And when I'm referring to the kids, I mean like my optimism for this game.
Mhm.
It's there, but it's on life support right now. But let's actually talk a little bit about your guys' school life. Do you guys mind going into school life?
No, not at all.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, were you guys okay? You be honest. Don't say. Please don't say like, oh yeah, I was the shit or whatever, and to make up stories. So, let's be real, okay? Were you
Yeah.
guys like lady killers?
My online ID is MarcoYolo. What do you
I mean,
think?
I mean,
No, not at all. No, I was actually better in grade school than I was in high school.
Damn.
No, grade school is actually, or not grade school. Sorry, high school is where I met my current fiance, and we met
Awesome.
when we were in grade 11, and we've been together ever since. So I guess
Damn.
yes. So technically yes, but at the same
Yeah.
time no. But technically yes.
That's good for you, dude.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
What about you, Kondus?
No, man, I didn't actually get my first real girlfriend until I graduated in college, my first year of college. I had
Really?
plenty of pickings though in high school actually, but I hated drama, and they're full of it. So,
I mean, yeah, half of them were thoughts, to be honest.
yep. So,
But in this sense though, or whatever, what was your most awkward experience with a girl?
oh gosh.
Here we go. Here we go. This is when things get a little bit watery.
Yes. Okay. Oh crap.
I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to set this one out, Marco.
All right, here we go. Okay, so this girl and I, it was in high school. We were great friends, and there was definitely a connection between us. But she was just so problematic, and I just couldn't stand the drama she would bring. So anyway, it was coming down to where we were deciding, okay, do we want to be together or not? And we were kind of fooling around one night, and bottoms came off, and I noticed her legs were almost as hairy as mine, and I got some hairy legs.
Oh god, dude!
Boy.
How'd she whip them out though? Like, did she just did she just
you
whip them out?
No, you just when you just kind of start pulling off the pants for them, and all of a sudden you just the legs are right there in your eyes.
What if that was your key? Like at the top, but you're like, oh hell yeah, keep pulling it up.
She didn't make like Wookiee noises or anything. Did
No. Oh,
well, what if she just like threw like a shaving thing at you, like a shaving kit, and you'd be like, let's go.
Okay, I would have done it. I would have, but I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
I think I feel you. I'm gonna talk about this. What do you call it? Actually, if we end up doing the lightning round on the extended podcast of this, I'll tell it. But my story is when I 69 this Christian girl, and things got things went really south. Let's just say that night I may have done some really questionable, really. I think it's better if I just save it. It's a really big story that involves a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of hurt friends, and
oh gosh,
yeah, just a big story, dude.
Sounds like a new identity need to be made.
Yeah. I think, dude, I think each podcast, like a little secret of mine is let out. I think the 10th podcast or whatever, I think people on this podcast are going to like begin to like decode it. Like I'm going to have my own lore behind me. Like, is he who he says he is? Like they're going to have like a little red string map like on their wall. It's like, how is
trying
he
to connect all the
dots?
dots.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But I think my experience, going back to the original topic, like my awkward experience or whatever, when it comes to like girls in high school and girls in middle school, I think my most awkward experience is when this girl or whatever that I liked at the time, she ended up being real cuckoo. And me saying this, she literally stapled her fingers together and showed it to the entire class for show and tell. I shit you not.
God damn it.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and I was like, I like crazy, but I don't want to die.
Yeah, that's when like you guys are you're in the sack, you're getting down and dirty, and then she's the one that's bent over.
She whips out the stapler. She just whips out that stapler like a nunchuck, dude.
Handcuffing you to the bed is so last year. We're gonna move on to something a little bit more dangerous.
Sensual.
Holy crap.
We're gonna. What if she brings me to Staples? What if she brings me to Staples? Like, just sends me like into Windows, like preview to that store Staples or whatever. Be like, we're gonna shop here tonight, honey. I'd be like, okay, this is totally not gonna lead to something else. But yeah, like. Anyway, actually, let's. Where are we at on time right now? We got a few more. All right. Since I've been asking you all the questions.
Hold on, Marco didn't get through his awkward.
I've actually,
I almost forgot.
I'm not letting you slide.
It's not as good as your guys' story, unfortunately. So, one thing that I did growing up and through high school before I moved out of town was I did martial arts. And I was higher up in the ranks. I was one of the older kids. I actually had a key to the school. So one night, my fiance and I actually decided to spend the night there. Thankfully, there was like padded floors and everything. It's great. And this was a weekend. I think it was either a Friday going into a Saturday or a Saturday going into a Sunday. Or was it in the summer? I don't know. Either way, next morning, no one should have been there.
Oh
we
shit!
woke up,
No.
I forget what time, but we woke up and I forgot the best part. The karate school was a repurposed church.
Oh
Oh my
no!
gosh.
Yeah, it used to be a church that wasn't. It was an older building, wasn't in the best shape, but we kind of repurposed it. But there were different sections of the building that were owned by different companies. So the maintenance guy had came in at like 7 in the morning.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And I guess I was like, I thought I heard the door because those doors are heavy and loud. I thought I
Yeah.
heard the door. I didn't see anybody, but I looked out the window and I see the car. And then later on, we had seen him walking around, and I'm like, oh my god, like that was a
Oh,
close
man.
one. But it could have been a lot worse. Like I said, it's not as bad as your guys's, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that could have been bad.
So yeah, that honestly, like, did you guys do some karate in there, or was that non-existent?
I mean, you know all the noises they make in the kung fu films and everything.
Honestly, I was just thinking of that one old movie, Kung Pao. Like, do you guys remember that? Like that
Oh, yeah.
parody
So
movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
1001, I'm coming. And then like the next frame, he's back like 20 steps. That's great, dude. I think my favorite person out of that whole movie was that guy with squeaky shoes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot what
Oh,
his name
yeah.
was. Oh, that's great, dude. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. We're already at the 10-minute mark where we got to wrap up in about 10 minutes. But I actually do have so much more I want to talk about. Let me give you this question here real quick. So going back to the whole ego thing to finish up with the
I
wrapping
was
that up,
actually gonna
so-
say I want to get back to that.
yeah. Let's wrap up with that. I was going to ask you with this question. How do you handle your ego, and what do you think about the term ego in For Honor community in general?
Ooh.
Mm.
Let me just do a Google lookup of what ego actually.
No,
really
no,
means.
shut that browser down, boy.
No, I know. So obviously, like an ego, I would say is more one person's, I guess, their self-esteem or how big they build themselves up. Obviously, growing up in martial arts, you see a lot in the fighting, because there's obviously a fighting aspect we did to it. So it's something I've kind of been used to, and I guess kind of checking my own ego at the door. That doesn't mean that I haven't always gotten maybe a little bit more emotional in fights, not in the sense that I start crying or anything, but, oh shit, I should have had that, or come on, I fucking did this, yada, 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 right? When it comes to any online game, you kind of see more egos in fighting games, and I guess even in like the Souls games as well, though they're not really fighting games. I would see a lot of salt and a lot of ego in those games as well. And I'm not trying to pin the blame on them, sorry, but I think when For Honor came out, it was kind of like we saw a huge wave of players that kind of came over from the Dark Souls kind of series. And they brought along a lot of that kind of ego and I guess maybe even negativity with it as well. And that was kind of what I thought right off the bat, when everyone was kind of looking at the game from the outside looking in, I think, and I'm not trying to pin the blame entirely on them. It's a fighting game in general, it's going to happen. But I saw a lot of the same kind of ego, the whole get good mentality. I think it's more when you're talking down to somebody is when you're showing off your ego, right? Whether it's messaging someone after a fight or during a fight, but you're kind of talking down to them. That's usually how they're showing their ego. This is going to sound kind of like a dick thing for myself, but I know that I'm not the worst player in the world. I know that I'm not the best For Honor player in the world. I know that I play group matches more often than I do solos. So what I kind of try to do to maybe sedate any rage that I might feel if, I die to some kind of BS mechanics or maybe the guard indicators disappeared, I just kind of tell myself, yeah, I probably could have beat him in a 1v1. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes it is true. Sometimes it's definitely not, and I lie to myself, but that's kind of my way, I guess, that I do have a bit of an ego in that respect, but I kind of try to use it to calm myself down rather than to show it off, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I actually made a video on egotism that's called OmniTalk Egotism, and it does I call it. I suggest you go watch it. It's pretty interesting of how I handle my ego. So for the longest time, I had this inner battle with myself because before this, I was a really good artist, and I had this fan base following me for the longest time. And because I was a mediocre artist and I had this fan base, I thought I let it get to me. I let it, enveloped me, and I turned into this person I hated, and I was like, why the fuck do I hate myself for this? So in me going through that experience and knowing like where I draw the line with my ego, I feel like it's an internal conflict within yourself to always stay on the right path when it comes to your ego, because you always have to like you said, you always have to check your ego at the door, and that is very true. You always have to, because you don't want to make someone else's day horrible by just gloating like when they're down, like just saying, oh, you suck or whatever, like all this shit, like, because what does that really do? That doesn't really do anything. That just makes them pissed and makes you look like an ass. And what was it for? Just a little slight.
It's totally a self ego boost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just for a tiny ego boost. Is it really worth at that point? Just be kind. Treat others like you want to be treated is my rule.
Yep.
Kondus. Actually, speaking of egos, I no, it's not in a bad term.
Whoa.
Not in a bad term. Not in a bad term. Not in a bad term. I saw your video, the one that you published. I'm no god.
Yeah.
What was the before you talk about your your thoughts on egotism? What was the thought process behind that video?
So the thought process there, everyone was calling me a warden god and god tier warden, and I don't consider myself that at all. Like I consider myself pretty decent at the game, but there's way better people than me out there. And I even though For Honor is a competitive based game, I like to play it casually because I could only play a couple times a week. So, and considering I'm a Christian, I believe in God and that, Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. So yeah. But and so just for my biblical beliefs that there's only one God in this world, and that's the God who created the earth and the heavens. So I just don't want that title. So it's like I just ask people respectively. It's like, hey, this is my beliefs, and I'd appreciate it if you respected them and just not called me a god. Like you could call me anything else. You can call me a pleb, trash, pro, king, whatever. I just prefer not God. So
I feel extremely shitty now. Because the podcast I made before this, no, let's move on.
It's all good.
I respect your beliefs and everything. Just know I for everyone in chat that's thinking like I'm the Antichrist and everything like that. I respect people's beliefs. So, and I totally do respect your beliefs for believing in Christianity. I myself am agnostic. I believe there is a power greater out there, but we're going to find out in the end. But that's just me. But going back or whatever, now that we explained, what your drive was behind your video, let's get a peek inside your mind. What is your thoughts about egotism in general when it comes to yourself?
So, with me specifically, even throughout school and everything, I would see kids that would make fun of the special needs, and I was that guy that would be there to defend them, or anybody who bullied in school. So I was always that kind of guy that would protect the weak, I guess. And so I'm kind of like that on For Honor too. It's just when I see somebody just emote spamming over somebody, and especially if it's one of my friends that I got them into the game and they're new. And it's like, really, is this really called for? It's like, I'm trying to show my friend here a good time, and here you are flaunting yourself because this guy's only been able to play for a month, and you've probably been playing since day one. And it's just, it's not needed, It's like, okay, you flawlessed him. Good fight. Good on you. But really, why do you have to flaunt it? Why do you have to emote spam and spam thanks and sorry or wow? It's like, it's whatever. It's good fight.
It's self-validation though, dude.
And it's like they'll send them a message just like, oh, get good, kid, or like, oh, get off the game, go kill yourself. It's like, really? Okay. Now it's like, get off your high horse. Cool, you're good at For Honor, whatever. It's and that's how I feel about egotism, It's like it's just not needed. It's like, let's just have fun. We're all playing For Honor. It's a community. We're all family. We're all playing the same game. So,
from my No. I understand perfectly. That's a good way to put it. From my perspective, I've seen a lot of fucked up shit growing up, Like, for instance, my PE teacher disregarding the special needs people in my class and putting the normal people against the special ed.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, and that, let me tell you, that was like an orphanage on fire. It was hard to watch, but I kind of had to because I was sitting in the stands. But
Right.
let's just be real here. With the whole ego thing, everyone that's listening right now, egotism is very subjective and it is very opinionated when it comes to what you think is a good ego and a bad ego. When you are, my advice is to anyone that is listening right now and you are suffering with egotism on the daily matter, I would suggest thinking to yourself that this is just a game. You got to think that you play this for fun. Don't play this because you want some validation of yourself. You shouldn't seek validation in a game.
Correct.
Just because some person is good or whatever and you didn't beat them, you shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't seek validation in a game. A game's supposed to make you happy and you should have fun playing the game. Play the game to have fun, man. Don't seek it for anything else but that.
Exactly.
No, honestly, 100%. I was actually going to go back to what you were saying, Kondus. Now, you're talking about negative ego. Do you think that what you have actually is more of a positive ego, and is that a bad thing or a good thing? And I was going to try to raise all those arguments, but I don't think we have time for that.
We don't have any more time, boys. Any more time. We got one last question. It's the ending question. Hey, everyone knows, if you've been listening to the OmniCast since episode 1, you already know how this rolls. We already asked a big question at the end. I'm going to go ahead and ask our guest first. MarcoYolo.
Okay. Yes.
In your opinion, what is it to be human?
Oh, Jesus. I guess this could kind of go back to the ego thing. To be human, Jesus Christ, this is a lot more deep, and I'm just trying to run out the clock because I don't know what the actual answer is. No,
just be honest with yourself when answering this question. In your opinion, of course, every opinion is just your view on it.
Yeah,
and
there's no right answer.
There's no right answer, and you can't fail at this question.
Feels like I already am.
No, you aren't. You're good.
Being human, some people can look at as, just waking up and going through the day, going to bed, and waking up tomorrow and doing the same thing. Or people can look at it and try to make a difference in their life. There's people that make others' dreams happen. There's people that make their own dreams happen. It's one of the reasons I became a content creator. I have no problem, working in fast food. I have no problem working at Best Buy like I did for a while. I have no problem working at a larger company if it's for video editing or communications consulting or whatever. But at the end of the day, is that what I want to be doing with my life? Is that what I want to be remembered for? The answer for that is no. I want to kind of be remembered as someone who entertained, who put a smile on people's faces, who made people laugh. I think what it means to be human is to make that choice. Are you going to work for someone else, or are you going to work for yourself?
There you go.
Good ass answer. What about you, Kondus?
What I feel is, love and compassion. I think that gets you a long way, just especially becoming a dad. That really gets you far. Thank you. And it's just becoming selfless. It's it's especially becoming a dad. It's all about her now. It's not about me. And
of course,
especially where I'm at with my channel. It's like my channel is for others. I even told people in my video that I am no god. It's like if people are having any difficulties in their life, they can come talk to me. It's like they can join my Discord, they can message me personally, and if they need some prayer or they need some advice, I'm always there for them. So I use my channel for God to work through my channel to reach others. Like that's what I do. And so it's just love and compassion in this world. That's really all we need.
See, and this is a perfect example of I can ask one person this question and I always get a different answer. Every single podcast so far, I've gotten a different answer, and it's so beautiful because everyone is opinionated in their own way, and it's so gorgeous to see that. And I'm not even bringing up just like their examples or whatever, but each one of you guys that bring something new to the table when it comes to what it is to be human. And I guess I'll give my insight, because I don't think I ever really given my insight on what it is to be human.
Let's hear it, man.
my idea is just a simple thing. It's not rather whether like the ends justify the means, or rather where you be selfless or selfish or nothing of that sort. It's if you were able to go out there and have the best life that you were able to have within yourself. It's not even going out and being a billionaire, having all these material things. To be human is knowing that you do not need any material possession in your life to make you happy. You
Correct.
yourself should be able to be happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's my idea for what it is to be human. You should not let other things, other people, or anything in your life change that.
Amen to that.
Nice. I agree.
All right, boys. Damn, wait, that was a hell of a, that
was a good one.
podcast.
Yeah. that was
You
good.
guys want to shout out any plugs? Any plugs for the ending?
What do you mean? Like anybody?
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna say
your
like,
channel, your SoundCloud rapper status, or like
yo, hit me up on my. No, I don't have a SoundCloud. I guess if you enjoy, watching more meme-related or more
Funny For Honor videos, that'd be more my channel. I'm not the guy that does commentaries. It's not something I enjoy doing, but it's something I enjoy watching.
So if that's something you want to do, go check me out. MarcoYolo is not a hard name to spell, and I'm sure it's going to be in the description. So just click on that.
And then my name is Kondus12, but my channel is Conrock Productions, and I do all kinds of content,
Like,
even
could you,
other games.
could you redo that? It lagged out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. My name's Kondus12, but my channel is Conrock Productions. So a lot of people get confused with the two. But I just love having fun, and I just post stuff for entertainment and casual, casually. So feel free to check me out.
There you go. Check those two out. I'll have their stuff in the description, so please go drop them sub, like, everything of that sort. Well, crap, guys, it's been one hell of a trip as always, guys, and I've been your host Flame here with the boys, and yeah, please blah. Oh my god, I just bit my tongue right there.
Ouch.
Feel free to check out our Discord. It's in the description. And if they have Discords as well, I'll link those as well. And if you're feeling charitable, please feel free to support our podcast by donating on our Patreon. We do extra podcasts called The Lightning Round, where we ask some really controversial stuff. And check that out at the end. And we really appreciate it. Like, at the moment, I'm looking out the window, and this dog is giving me this evil glare. So I don't know if he's going to jump me when I get outside after this. So that's why I'm kind of nervous right now. But
Good luck.
anyway, guys.
Thanks for
see
having
you on
us,
the
man.
next one.
Yes, thank you.
Peace.